Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about a common psychological trap that can affect our decision-making. The sunk cost fallacy. What is it? How does it work? And how can we break free from it? That's what we're going to explore in this video. The sunk cost fallacy is the tendency to continue an endeavor or course of action even when abandoning it would be more beneficial. It occurs because we feel that we have invested too much to quit, even if it's not rational or optimal. We think that if we quit, we will lose or waste what we have already invested, whether it's money, time, effort, or emotions. So we keep going, hoping to justify or recover our investment, even if it means sacrificing more resources or missing out on better opportunities. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're watching a movie, and after 30 minutes you realize it's not what you expected. It's boring, confusing, or offensive. You have two options. You can stop watching the movie and do something else, or you can continue watching the movie till the end. What would you do? If you're like most people, you might choose to continue watching the movie, even if you don't enjoy it. Why? Because you paid for the ticket, or you downloaded it, or you borrowed it from a friend. You think that if you stop watching the movie, you will have wasted your money, time, or effort. You think that by finishing the movie, you will get your money's worth, or you will respect the recommendation, or you will complete the task. This is the sunk cost fallacy in action. But is this a rational or optimal decision? Not really. The money, time, or effort you have spent on the movie is a sunk cost. It's something that you have already invested and cannot get back, regardless of what you do next. It should not influence your future decision, which should be based on the future benefits and costs. The future benefit of continuing to watch the movie is very low, if not negative. You will not enjoy the movie, you will not learn anything from it, you will not feel satisfied or proud of it. The future cost of continuing to watch the movie is very high. You will waste more time, you will feel more bored, frustrated, or angry. You will miss out on other things you could do with your time, such as watching a better movie, reading a book, or spending time with your friends or family. So, the rational and optimal decision would be to stop watching the movie and do something else that gives you more value or pleasure. By doing so, you will not lose or waste anything. You will simply accept that the sunk cost is gone and move on to a better option. You will save yourself from more pain and open yourself to more gain. Why do we tend to fall for the sunk cost fallacy? There are several psychological factors that can explain this phenomenon. One of them is emotional attachment. We tend to develop an emotional bond with the things we invest in. We feel that they are part of us, and that giving them up would mean losing a part of ourselves. We also feel that they reflect our identity, values, or goals, and that abandoning them would mean betraying ourselves. We want to be consistent and loyal to our choices, and we don't want to admit that we made a mistake or changed our mind. Another factor is loss aversion. We tend to value what we have more than what we don't have, and we tend to fear losses more than we desire gains. We prefer to avoid losses, even if they are smaller than the potential gains. We also tend to perceive losses as more painful than gains as more pleasurable. We don't want to feel the pain of losing or wasting something that we have invested in, and we hope to avoid or reduce that pain by continuing to invest in it. A third factor is cognitive dissonance. This is the mental discomfort that we experience when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes. For example, we might believe that we are smart and rational, but we also realize that we have made a bad decision or invested in a failing project. This creates a conflict in our mind, and we try to resolve it by rationalizing or justifying our decision or investment. We look for evidence that supports our choice and ignore or dismiss evidence that contradicts it. We also blame external factors, such as bad luck, unfair competition, or unforeseen circumstances, for the poor outcome, rather than our own responsibility. A fourth factor is social pressure. We tend to care about what other people think of us, and we want to maintain a positive image and reputation. We don't want to appear weak, foolish, or inconsistent in front of others, especially those who are important to us, such as our family, friends, colleagues, or bosses. We also don't want to disappoint or offend them, especially if they have supported or influenced our decision or investment. We fear that quitting or changing our course of action would damage our relationships or status, and we prefer to conform or comply with the expectations or norms of our social group. These are some of the main causes of the sunk cost fallacy. But what are the consequences? How does the sunk cost fallacy affect our decision-making in our lives? Here are some examples of how the sunk cost fallacy can manifest in different domains, such as business, education, relationships, or personal projects. Business. A company decides to launch a new product and invests a lot of money, time, and effort in developing, marketing, and distributing it. However, after a few months, the product fails to meet the sales or profit expectations and faces strong competition from other products. The company has two options. It can either cut its losses and discontinue the product, or it can continue to invest more money, time, and effort in improving, promoting, and selling it. If the company falls for the sunk cost fallacy, it will choose the second option, missing out on other opportunities to invest in more profitable or promising products. The company will think that if it quits, it will have wasted all the resources it has already invested in the product, and it will hope to recover or justify its investment by continuing to invest in it. Education. A student decides to study a subject and pays a high amount of tuition fees, buys expensive books and materials, and spends hours attending classes, doing assignments, and taking exams. However, after a few semesters, the student realizes that the subject is not interesting or relevant to their career goals, and that they are not performing well or enjoying it. The student has two options. They can either drop out or change their major, or they can continue to study the subject till they graduate. If the student falls for the sunk cost fallacy, they will choose the second option, even if it means wasting more money, time, and effort, and missing out on other opportunities to study something that is more interesting or relevant to their career goals. The student will think that if they quit or change their major, they will have wasted all the money, time, and effort they have already invested in the subject, and they will hope to justify or recover their investment by completing their degree. Relationships. A person enters a relationship and invests a lot of time, energy, and emotions in building it. However, as time goes by, they realize that the relationship is unhealthy or unfulfilling, and that it's causing them more pain than pleasure. They have two options. They can either end the relationship and move on, or they can continue to stay in the relationship, hoping that things will improve or that they will get back what they have invested. If the person falls for the sunk cost fallacy, they will choose the second option, even if it means staying in a toxic or unsatisfying relationship and missing out on the opportunity to find happiness and fulfillment elsewhere. They will think that if they leave, they will have wasted all the time, energy, and emotions they have already invested in the relationship, and they will hope to justify or recover their investment by staying in it. These examples illustrate how the sunk cost fallacy can lead us to make irrational or suboptimal decisions that can have negative consequences for our lives. So how can we avoid or overcome? 1. Recognize sunk costs. Train yourself to identify when you're falling into the trap of the sunk cost fallacy. Remind yourself that past investments are gone and cannot be recovered, and that future decisions should be based on future benefits and costs. 2. Focus on future benefits. Shift your focus from what you've already invested to what you stand to gain or lose in the future. Evaluate the potential benefits and costs of continuing or abandoning the endeavor, and make your decision based on what will maximize your overall well-being and happiness. 3. Seek external perspectives. Don't be afraid to seek advice or feedback from others who are not emotionally invested in the decision. They can offer fresh perspectives and help you see the situation more objectively without the influence of sunk costs. 4. Set clear criteria. Establish clear criteria for evaluating the success or failure of the endeavor, and use them to guide your decision-making process. If the endeavor no longer aligns with your goals or values, it may be time to cut your losses and move on. 5. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself and acknowledge that it's okay to make mistakes or change your mind. Don't let fear of failure or regret dictate your decisions. Embrace the opportunity to learn and grow from your experiences. So the next time you find yourself faced with a difficult decision, take a step back and evaluate the situation objectively. Seek external perspectives, set clear criteria for evaluation, and practice self-compassion as you navigate the complexities of decision-making. And above all, remember that it's never too late to change course and pursue a path that brings you joy, fulfillment, and success. With this newfound awareness and clarity, you can embrace the freedom to choose a brighter future, one that is not dictated by past investments, but by your own vision, values, and aspirations. So go forth with confidence, and may your decisions be guided by wisdom, courage, and authenticity. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Thanks for watching.